Quick shout out to Derosimi Thomas in Addis Ababa. Say that 10 times fast. Addis Ababa, Africa, who's soon going to be a longevity distributor. Derosimi Thomas, welcome aboard. So very nice to talk to you the other day, all the way from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, man. How about that? A Jamaican African accent. That was pretty good, wasn't it? All right, enough of this falderall. Let's dial John back up and talk about this chemtrail thing more. Johnny is still with me?
Yes, I am.
All right. So now, whoa, slow down. Okay. So I'm familiar with the basic concept of the chemtrail.
Right.
That the government's loading stuff into planes, that it flies all around the world or all around the United States, lacing the atmosphere with stuff. Now, number one, what do you know about this, and why do you think it's happening?
Okay. How do I know about it? I've done a significant amount of research. I mean, hundreds, if not more than hundreds of hours. A good movie for you to watch online free would be What in the World Are They Spraying and Why in the World Are They Spraying? And you'll see test results that they've done. But typically what is happening is barium and aluminum salts are being sprayed into the atmosphere. And from what I've noticed is if there are heavy days of air traffic where these persistent, we'll just call them contrails, but a persistent contrail that never goes away, and then crisscrosses across the sky and creates an overcast. When it's done extremely heavily, I'd say 7 to 10 days afterward, I start getting upper respiratory problems. I've been experiencing it quite a bit. I experienced it in about the middle of December in Albuquerque metro area, and then went through, had a sinus infection, went down to South Texas, and then I never saw the sun for 13 days in South Texas, which just does not happen climatically in South Texas this time of year. And so it was overcast every day. We only really had 2 real days of natural cloud cover where there was rain. Every other day, it was just dreary, thick, overcast, but not like a cloud overcast. It looks kind of more orange-gray rather than just a natural looking color. So
what's from the community of chemtrail, explorers, if for lack of a better phrase, what's the rationale behind the chemtrail? I mean, what's the purpose and the function of the chemtrail? Why are they doing it?
Ostensibly, if you research the term stratospheric aerosol geoengineering, it's geoengineering, and basically the whole climate change issue, which is a bunch of garbage to begin with, because the climate changes from one season to another, one year to another. It's always changing. But the idea is to dim the atmosphere to prevent global warming, which, go figure. I mean, there are others that say that it's a eugenics operation. Quite frankly, I don't know. But I know it's not natural. And through research that I've seen done, barium and aluminum salts are heavily involved. And I just noticed that within 7 to 10 days after a very heavy chemtrailing, I get this upper respiratory problem that lasts weeks and weeks and weeks, and it doesn't abate, and it's a clear mucus. And it just won't go away. It's so deeply set in there, and then there's that 100-day cough that everybody talks about. And
well, all right, so
what I'm wondering is if you have some kind of a protocol to rid my body of that stuff.
Well, if it is barium salts or aluminum salts, then presumptively, when you inhale it, that would be like inhaling really, 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 really fine diatoms, right? You know what? Ever seen a diatom under a telescope, a microscope?
Oh, but this is nano-sized particles.
Yeah, all right. So it's not going to have a mechanical effect on the tissue?
I don't know.
I would assume that it would. It sounds to me like a mechanical irritation, but
yes.
Because chemical irritation tends to be associated with blood. and inflammation like that. But, I mean, so what I would do is support and promote the structure and function of my lung tissue. And how would I do that? I would double down on my selenium. I would take 4 bottles of selenium a month, regardless of my body weight.
Okay.
And I would do 1 bottle of EFA Plus per 50 pounds of body weight per month. That's double the normal dose. 1 bottle of EFA Plus per 50 pounds per month, plus 12 selenium a day, and see if that makes a noticeable, noteworthy difference. Selenium is
a probiotic help out in any way?
No, killer biotic would only work if there was an active infection present.
Okay.
You know, an infectious microorganism, right, like a bacteria or a virus or a mold or a fungus, right?
Okay.
If this is a chemical thing, like, you know, a mineral salt, and that's a completely different animal, and the killer biotic ain't going to be of any help.
Okay.
But
and for your caller who called from Canada on flavors related to the BTT, I've found that adding additional water to it helps with the taste. And what I've done is get one of those little bullets or some other kind of blender and take 2 good size, you know, just cut up a whole pineapple and take 2, you know, half-inch wedges of that, blend it up with it. Outstanding. It tastes like a tropical smoothie.
Really?
Yep.
Well, I'm going to try that tonight. Wow,
that's what. Now, I personally prefer the old version better than the new version. My wife actually prefers the new version better than the old, but she's not crazy about that either. So she's going to move on to the ultimate instead, and do it that way to get her minerals.
All right. So the ultimate daily capsules. If you go that route, then you have to get the plant-derived minerals, because the ultimate daily capsules don't have minerals in them.
Oh, okay.
So you have to get, and the recommendation on the mineral supplement is 1 bottle of either the Ultimate Dailies or the Cherry Mints per 100 pounds of body weight per month. So
which one tastes better, the plant-derived or the Cherry Mints?
Well, the Cherry Mints tastes a million times better. A million. You should experience the naked plant-derived minerals all by themselves at least once. It's a very interesting experience. John, you're the greatest. I got to move on, man. Thanks for the phone call. Thanks for your support. And thanks for the heads up on all this very, very interesting stuff. Let's head on over to Colorado now and see what Deanne is up to. Hey, Deanne, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi, Doc. Thanks for taking my call. My husband and I we're getting on your program. Our stuff is on the way. I decided to do that because he's got a couple of issues, but the reason I'm calling is actually a birth control question. I've been on Depo-Provera for forever, for 17 years, and
have you grown a third arm yet? Do you still have only 2 arms? Yeah.
I only have 2 arms, and I feel like I'm a pretty healthy person, and, you know, they've been telling me all about bone loss for this whole time. Well, and I have been taking supplements, but just from my regular grocery store, not from you guys.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about switching over to the Mirena, which is a 5-year long-term implant.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with that. I'm very familiar with Depo-Provera. I'm very familiar with bioidentical hormone supplementation. I've got this one dialed right in, Deanna.
Okay, cool. So go for it.
All right. I'll tell you the whole rundown here because it's rare that I get to talk about this on the show. But before I do that, how did you find out about the show, and who was it in Colorado that turned you on to longevity?
Actually, nobody in Colorado. I've heard you a couple of times on the Alex Jones show.
Yeah.
And I just thought you were awesome, and I love your sense of humor. So then I went to your website, and then I started listening to your show as well.
Okay, so you're actually in my downline in longevity?
I believe so. I just placed my order last week.
And did you do that through my website, fireyourmdnow.com?
I believe so.
All right, you rock and roll, Deanne. That's fantastic. Now I'm going to spend even more time talking to you. All right, so look, here's the deal. If you were a diabolical, sadistic person like Adolf Hitler, and you wanted to mess people up, well, and you want to do it medically. Well, the first thing you would do is come up with something that messed up with people's central nervous system, right? Your brain or your spinal cord or your nerves, because your brain, your spinal cord, your nerves affects everything in the body. Well, if you weren't smart enough to do that, but you still wanted to mess with people, the next system in the body that a smart person would focus on would be the hormonal system. Because hormones in the body affect every single solitary aspect of your body. Everything is affected by hormones. And by everything, I mean everything. Everything is affected by hormones. And the hormone balance in the human body is a beautiful thing to behold. It is an intricate dance. It's kind of like one of those old-fashioned waltzes back in Mozart's day when you've got 25 couples all on the ballroom floor and they're all swirling and dancing around each other in this one big, beautiful thing. That's what the hormones are like in the human body. Now, when you let the intellect of medical doctors intercede into that ballroom with man-made hormones, synthetic hormones, which have never before existed in nature, by the way. That's how hormones are patented. When you make Depo-Provera or Premarin or any type of hormone supplement, it's the natural hormone with a little molecule tagged onto it, or a lot of molecules tagged onto it in the case of Premarin, to make it a molecule that has never, ever existed before on the face of the earth. And if you manufacture a brand new molecule, you can patent it. And if you can patent it, anybody can make it. So all man-made synthetic hormones are just that, man-made and synthetic, and you're dumping that stuff into this intricate dance. And on the other side of the break, I'm going to tell you what happens when you do that. Stick around. I'm Dr. Glidden. What's happened to all the caribou and Camrose? They're all in Mike Phillips' basement. We're talking to Deanne from Colorado. Deanne, are you still with me?
Yep, I'm still here.
All right. So the basic understanding here is that when you dump man-made synthetic hormones into this complex dance of the natural hormones that, you know, the body had when you came into the world, you're going to screw things up. And that's why hormone supplementation is so rampant with side effects. That's why. It's because you're putting a man-made synthetic thing into this intricate dance that's, you know, really quite a beautiful thing. It would kind of be like, if we're going to complete the metaphor here of the 24 dancers on dancing around the waltz floor, well, if into that mix you threw a bobcat, it would screw everything up. Right, it would. And that's exactly what happens. And that's why any type of synthetic hormone needs to be avoided like the freaking plague. Now, there are some women who've had total hysterectomy or partial hysterectomy for whatever reason, right or wrong. And those women are candidates for hormone supplementation because their body, the doctor took out the organs that made the hormones. Now their life is going to be not as good as it could be because the organs aren't there anymore, and then their hormone levels are going to be low. So those women are candidates for bioidentical hormone supplementation. And a bioidentical hormone is exactly that. It's a hormone that was made in a laboratory, but it's exactly the same molecule as natural human progesterone, natural human estrogen, whatever. And it has hardly any side effects. You got to mess around with the dosage. That's the only hard thing to figure out. But bioidentical hormone supplementation is the only way to go if, in fact, you are a candidate for hormone supplementation. Now, to take hormones, natural or synthetic, for birth control is like, what would it be like? It would be like taking a box of matches to the gas station and just lighting matches indiscriminately and throwing them around, hoping that none of them catch fire and you don't blow the gas station up. Well, maybe you're not going to blow the gas station up, but you probably are And really, honestly, it's only a matter of time until one of those matches catches fire, and then the whole thing is over. So, however, birth control is kind of sort of a necessary part of life, and I just lost all of the Catholics who are listening to this radio station, all the Christians that are listening to this. I'm not going to argue the merits of birth control. This is a free world, and we've got all kinds of people listening to this radio show. We've got atheists, we've got Catholics, we've got Buddhists, we've got Hindus. Namaste, Gary J. We've got everybody. So, for whatever reason, if you want to do birth control, then I'm behind you 100%. And the single best way to do birth control that delivers the least amount of physical harm or negative side effects is as follows. For the woman, you get fitted for a cervical cap. You get fitted for a cervical cap. You find a clinic with a female doctor. A female doctor who has experience fitting women for cervical caps. You go in, get fitted for a cervical cap, and I believe a cervical cap proffers you, I think, 98 to 99% contraception. If you use a cervical cap and your partner uses a condom, it's 100% guaranteed, 100% guaranteed. Now, if your cycle is regular, now it's going to be hard for you to know because you've been on Depo-Provera for so long, and that kind of screwed the pooch. So
yeah, I don't have a cycle. I haven't had a cycle for probably 15 years.
Yeah. So all right.
Which is really convenient.
Yeah,
and one
really.
of the things that I like about it.
Yeah, I can understand. Well, never having been a woman, I can only approximate an understanding of that. But yeah, so I get it. So my advice to you, until your cycles come back and then start to normalize, just use a cervical cap and have your partner wear a condom. Because I will tell you this, when you stop the Depo-Provera or anything else that you've done, any other birth control, when you stop it, your body doesn't know what the hell to do. And it takes a while for the dancers to pick themselves up and run in from hiding because they're scared of the bobcat, but it's not there anymore, and then the band has to pick up the tune again. It takes a while for your body to get back into that rhythm. And when your body gets back into that rhythm, you'll know when you're going to ovulate, and then you only need to use the cervical cap or the condoms for 7 days out of the month. But until then, my advice, cervical cap, condom, life is good. By the way, if you do get pregnant, fantastic name for a child, Dr. Glidden. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, trying to have as much fun as we possibly can, keeping up a contest between those of us down here in the States and those of us up in the great white north. I got to tell you what, the Calgary Longevity Group is going to kick every other longevity group's you know what. 2014 is going to be the year of Calgary. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned for the Albertans on the rise. Let's go to Fernando in L.A. and see what's happening. Hey, Fernando, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Yeah, diabetic. The wine is dying.
Fernando, come on in, brother. What's happening?
Diabetic.
I'm sorry?
Diabetic.
I got a really bad connection, Fernando. I can't hear anything that you're saying. I'm sorry. Call back with a different number. Let's go to Meg in Florida. Hey, Meg. Thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden.
Hi, Meg.
Happy New Year.
Thanks, Meg. Same to you. Now, before we begin, Meg, it's like minus who knows what here in Chicago. What's the temperature in Florida?
I can't tell you that, Dr. Glidden.
Come on, Meg. What's the temperature?
It's probably in the 60s.
Why didn't I go to Florida when I had the chance? Oh, son of a gun. Well, yeah, I think I'm going to have to call you in August, and so I can rub it in a little bit the other way, right?
Yes. We suffer a great week.
So, hey, thanks for the call. What's up?
I wanted to thank you first and foremost for what you do.
Oh, you're welcome very much.
there are many of us who are trying to recover our health, and we appreciate the work you do.
Well, thank you very much. You're welcome.
Thank you, Doctor. My first question. I have a friend who has recently had back surgery on December 17th.
Yeah.
And she's telling me that she had lots of drugs given to her, and she's feeling very sluggish. Her throat is also not feeling very well, and her mouth is dry. She wants to know if it's okay for her to do a cleanse and what you would recommend.
No, absolutely, positively not. Do not do a cleanse. What was the nature of the back surgery? Do you know?
Dislocated disc.
Dislocated disc. Okay. Now.
Herniated disc, I think she said.
Herniated disc. Okay. So, Meg, I'm getting some really funky feedback here from your phone. So I'm going to drop the call, but I'm going to answer the question on the air for you, okay? So I'm sorry, but maybe we have something going on with the phone lines here at the studio. I don't know. But listen to me on the computer or however you're doing it, and I'll answer the question for you right now. All right, so here's the deal. When you do a detox, you actually do liberate toxic crap that's been in your body. Your body sequesters most toxic stuff that it is exposed to in the normal wear and tear of life, and it puts it into fatty tissue. Most of the toxic crap that we're exposed to is fat-soluble, so your body sticks it away in fatty tissue to get it out of primary circulation, and there it sits. And then you get on board with a detox, and well, guess what? The detox works. The detox burns fat and stirs up a hornet's nest. Now you've got toxic crap circulating in your blood that your body's trying to get rid of. Well, your liver is the operative agent there. Your liver has something called phase 1 and phase 2 detoxification. It's a two-step process through which the liver detoxifies crap. But in order to complete the detoxification process, phase 1 and phase 2, your liver needs nutrients. Now, if you're nutrient deficient and you go on a detox, you're going to stir up crap. Your body's not going to be able to, your liver's not going to be able to process it. And it's like, stirring up a hornet's nest. You're going to hurt yourself. So that's why our first recommendation is to nutrify and then detoxify. First we nutrify, then we detoxify. First we nutrify, and then we detoxify. And, the fact that this woman had degenerative discs, I mean, unless she was in, well, it's a degenerative disc. I don't know if it was a degenerative disc or if it was a slip disc. Sometimes, even if you're healthy, if you roll your car or you fall down a hill because a caribou's chasing you or whatever, you can throw a disc out. But notwithstanding extreme circumstances like that, most of the time when somebody's intervertebral discs go south all the way to Florida, it's because they've run out of the nutrients they need in order to maintain their health and their structural integrity. So, pretty much a certainty that Meg's friend is nutrient deficient, otherwise the discs wouldn't have slipped in the first place. So, now she's taking drugs, and she's feeling funky from the drugs, and she wants to know what to do to feel unfunky. Well, you got to stop taking the drugs, number one. And then you have to give your body comprehensive nutritional support so that it can right itself. It can fix itself. It's kind of like, I grew up on an island and liked to sail, learned how to sail when I was a little kid. And there are these little boats called sunfish or sailfish. It's basically just like this plank in the water with a big sail in it. And they would flip upside down all the time. All the time. You'd flip it. The first thing that they taught you when they're teaching you how to sail one of those little things is how to get it to flip upright again. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but once you get the hang of it, it's not that big of a deal. But you have to flip the ship upright again. Well, in order to flip the body upright again so that it can just start to work a little bit more normally, you got to nutrify it. And you got to stop eating food that's gumming up the works. So for 90 days, before we even talk about detox, what this woman needs, Meg, isn't detox. It's nutrification. And when she nutrifies her body, she's going to feel better. And all of those funky side effects of the drugs are going to dissolve into a fine mist and be gone. All right, just like a caribou's breath. So the recommendation to support and promote the structure and function of her body post-surgery is, survey says, 1, anti-aging healthy start pack. 1, anti-aging healthy start pack. And 2, selenium. 1, anti-aging healthy start pack. And 2, selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. 1, anti-aging healthy start pack. And 2, selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. And now, if she also wants to, like, try to get her ligaments and tendons stronger again, to support and promote the structure and function of her ligaments and tendons, to that program that I just described, she would add 1 bottle of liquid glucogel plus per 50 pounds per month. 1 bottle of liquid glucogel plus per 50 pounds per month. And if all things being equal, once she starts the anti-aging healthy start pack and the selenium, within 14 days, she should experience a noticeable, measurable turnaround. She should kind of feel like her sailboat has flipped upright again and things are better. 14 days. Things to be better, 14 days. Check it out, the anti-aging healthy start pack and selenium. And if she really wants to go for broke, glucogel in addition to that. From Florida to California, let's see what Marie wants to talk about. Hey, Marie, thanks for the phone call.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. Thank you for taking my call here. I have a question about my husband's health. Recently he has a lab test. His PSA went up like 36 points, and his kidney function is high too. It's like 20 points higher. So he's taking prostate FX 4 a day. And he's also taking D-stress. He's taking the Osteo FX, but he's not taking BTT.
Okay. Well, what he needs to be, instead of the D-stress, he needs to be taking the Ultimate Daily capsules. The Ultimate Daily capsules. Okay. And he needs to be on Tangy Tangerine. I mean, there's no way around it.
No, because he has the diarrhea when he takes that. He tries a couple times already.
All right, so now we're getting into it. All right, so there's only one thing that causes that to happen. It's not the supplement. It's his body's reaction to the supplement.
Yes.
So that means the diarrhea, the loose stools from the BTT, means that he is intolerant to wheat, barley, rye, and oats, and he has to stop eating that crap or he's going to die. He has to stop eating wheat, barley, rye, and oats. He has to, because it's hurting his intestinal tract, and it's disallowing his intestinal tract from absorbing nutrients. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to YouTube. You know how to do that on the Internet?
Yes.
All right, go to YouTube. And in the search box, type in Dr. Peter Glidden against the grain. Dr. Peter Glidden against the grain. A little video will pop up. I want you and your husband to watch that.
Okay.
He needs to stop eating wheat, barley, rye, and oats. And that little video against the grain will explain to him why. If he doesn't do that, none of this is going to work. I don't care if he could take $1 million of supplements a year, and it wouldn't work if he continues to eat this food, because it's gumming up the works. It's going to continue to gum up the works. We're going to take 2 steps forward with the nutrients and 2 steps backward if he keeps eating these foods. Well,
he did come back a lot, though.
Well, but he's still eating it, though, right?
Just a little bit.
Well, that's like being a little bit pregnant. You can't be. He's got to stop it completely. He has to stop it all the way. Now, and the other thing is, which Beyond Tangy was he taking? The original one or the 2.0?
The original.
All right, so switch to the 2.0 and start him. How much does he weigh?
108.
108. All right, so here's what I want you to do. Get the 2.0 and give him 1 level scoop in 16 ounces of water twice a day. 1 level scoop in 16 ounces of water twice a day, and have him drink each solution slowly over the course of 1 hour. 1 level scoop in 16 ounces of water twice a day, and have him drink each dose very, very slowly. I would be very surprised, Marie, if he diluted it that much and drank it slowly that he would get diarrhea from it. But you got to help him to become gluten-free because, men are stubborn. And really, that's just the nature of the beast. So I want you to try to manipulate him however you possibly can.
Okay.
And get him to go 100% gluten-free and dilute the stuff a little bit more. He's going to love.
So what about his kidney function?
Well, he needs the ultimate daily capsules. That's why he needs the ultimate daily capsules. Right.
Okay.
So 1 bottle of ultimate daily capsules a month and 2 bottles of selenium. To support and promote kidney function, we do selenium and the ultimate daily capsules.
Okay, he's taking 3 selenium a day already.
Okay, so give him the ultimate daily capsules, clean up his diet, and figure out how to give him the BTT without diarrhea. Thanks for the call, Maria. We're finishing it up, folks. When we come back, I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Don't even think about touching that dial. I always drink vitamins, and when I do, I drink Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Stay thirsty, my friends. Let's go to Wisconsin, see what Joyce is up to. Hey, Joyce, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Oh, hi, Dr. Glidden.
What's happening, Joyce? You staying cold? Are you staying warm up there?
Yeah, pretty cold. 30 below.
30 below?
Yeah.
What's the wind chill? Death. Yeah, when the wind chill goes below a certain degree, they should just say wind chill death. That's what they should do, man. That's cold, man. Woo.
I'm calling about my mother-in-law.
Oh, my God. Oh, my. Your mother-in-law, really? All right, hit me.
Well, she has colon cancer, but lately she's had incontinence.
Yeah.
And they did a urine sample and said that there was nothing showed up in the cultures, so I guess there's no infection.
Yeah.
So they gave her an antibiotic anyway.
Well, which is nuts, by the way. It's because of nonsense prescriptions like that we've got all these antibiotic-resistant bacteria. Those people should have their medical license stripped and be pilloried in the town square.
Yeah, it did make sense.
Yeah, I mean, and this is what, but when you're the king, you can do anything, right? When you're the king, you can go to the fruit stand and execute the apple salesman, no problem, because you're the king.
Right.
And they get away with nonsense like this. Now, remember, we don't treat cancer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Beyond Tangy Tangerine was just proven in a university study to kill cancer cells. It was proven in a university study to kill cancer cells in a little petri dish. So if I was struggling with colon cancer, if I had a history of colon cancer, in order to support and promote the structure and function of my body, what I would do is I would do the Healthy Start Pack 2.0 and selenium appropriate for body weight and as much Z-radical as I could humanly afford. And oftentimes people have weak bladders, either because of surgical stress. Like, did she have surgery for the colon cancer?
She had a colonoscopy.
Yeah, so the answer is yes. So it's probably from the surgery. The surgeon went in there and mucked something up, and now the bladder is affected. So one thing that she can do, if she can do it, I mean, I don't know how strong she is. I don't know how frail she is. I don't know what her position or her condition is. If she can do even a moderately inverted yoga pose where she gets her bladder, so she wants to lie on her back and lift her legs up and her pelvis up so that they point up towards the ceiling and she can support it with her back. Is she able to do that? You think she'd be able to pull off a move like that?
It might take her a little while. She's 89. So.
Oh, God. You don't have one of those inversion tables, do you? Do you have one of those tables where you can flip upside down?
No, but we could probably rig something up.
Well, what you could do, the easiest way to do this would be to get one of those pillows that has like a 45-degree, angle to it, like they used to have in the 60s. They put them in the bed, and you can watch TV in bed, right?
Yeah.
Put one of those, have her lie down on her back, and shimmy one of those underneath her pelvis so that her pelvis and her lower abdomen is inverted just a little bit.
Okay.
Because that'll tip the bladder upside down, and that's kind of good thing to do when you're struggling with incontinence like this. Often it can go a long way towards fixing it. But notwithstanding that, liquid glucogel ostensibly here would help to provide structural stability to the bladder, which the MDs probably screwed up when they did the colonectomy.
Yeah. Well, I was reading also that it seems like there's a lot of muscle involvement with the bladder, and she might need, because she was taking glucogel, but now we have her on like selenium and all this other stuff, and we got away from that, so we should probably give her that. Yeah,
you go back to the glucogel, and if you're trying to support muscle tone, the HGH Youth Complex and a diet high in protein. HGH Youth Complex and a diet high in protein. Because, that's what your muscles are made out of. The HGH Youth Complex is amino acids, and that's what your muscles are made from. Proteins are amino acids. That's what your muscles are made from. So the HGH Youth Complex and a high-protein diet would actually be better than the glucogel if specifically you're trying to support and strengthen muscle tone, which I think is a really good idea, Joyce, which makes you the smartest person in Wisconsin. Thanks so much for the call, and best of luck. Ladies and gentlemen, God willing and the creek don't rise, I'll see you tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. Live webinar tonight for insiders only.